My people, please. Don't be shy, don't be nervous, I do not bite. There we go, come on, yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go.
You gotta stay behind the speakers, man.
Oh, gotta stay behind it?
Real bad feedback.
Alright, no feedback, that's not good. Alright, here we go. Alright. You know, Democrat, Republican, left wing, right wing, you know, both those wings belong to the same bird, right? But what's a bird to a panther? That's right. That's right. And I want to frankly say this. I'm tired, and I know y'all are tired too. I'm tired of striving for black comfortability instead of black liberation. We tell our people to go vote, but we don't tell our people to organize outside the systems that we don't own in the first place. I'm tired of telling our people to climb up a ladder that not only we built, but at the top of that ladder is a white man, and that white man facilitates how high we can climb up. I'm tired of all these things. I'm tired of all these rules, all this programming that we went through to benefit somebody that does not look like us in any way, shape, or form. And that's the problem we go through in America. Not only in America, but where we came from, Africa. First and foremost, that's our motherland. That's where we came from. And we see what's going on in there. We see what's going on in Nigeria. You guys see what's going on. And the thing we have in common is that we're black. And that is the reason why we get our ass beat by this system, right? So when we talk about liberation, specifically black liberation, we have to go through what that means. We have to understand what liberation and revolution means and what we're willing to do to obtain that. The issue is that we need power. Power for our people. We come from civilizations that introduced medicine to the world, that introduced science to the world, that introduced education to the world. But in school, we learned that slavery was our starting place. We had slavery, the civil rights movement, Obama, and that's it. If we start our history with slavery, all we can aspire to be are better slaves. So we have to reprogram our minds and really start to understand where it is that we come from so we can strive to be better and strive for more. Because when we have that in our mindset, we are willing to risk everything to be something more than what this system has taught us to be. And that is working class, laborers, where we sell about 8 to 12 hours of our day for chump change. Worldwide, right? So liberation, revolution, all these things. We have to ask ourselves, what are we willing to do to obtain that? The Chinese Revolution, the Haitian Revolution, the Haitian Revolution. I need to emphasize why Africa is so important. I'm sure we have some Chinese allies in the crowd, right? 100%. We have white allies, that's obvious. We need to be allies with each other as black people because we don't have a place to go to. We don't have a place to go to right now. We can't go back to Africa right now because it's being neo-colonized by China. Right.
Say it again.
And the white power structure has their hands in their spheres of influence in our motherland. So we need to reorganize our minds. We change how we think, we'll change how we move. We change how we move, we'll change the actions that we feel are necessary for us to get what we need to do. If we do that, we are examples of the things that we are asking for. If we can do that, we can change all of us, everybody, and organize a whole lot better. And that's power right there. I don't want to see any more bickering. We're all crabs in the same barrel. We see some black people want to climb up that ladder and say they want to strive for black comfortability. We see poor black people that want to fight for revolution. We need to get on the same page and to understand that we're still in the same boat of oppression at the end of the day. If it's all under a white system, then we failed ourselves. And we can do a whole lot better. So please, everybody, ask yourselves one thing. How far are you willing to really go for that liberation and for that revolution? And look, and history will tell you how far our people were willing to go for us to get what was ours and what is ours. Tomorrow this system will be here. But tomorrow I want us to organize to build our own system, separate from the systems that exist right now. That is what we can do. Organize like that. A black agenda. A black agenda involves the re-education of all black people worldwide. No matter if you're a black American, a black African, no matter your orientation, whether you're gay, lesbian, LGBTQ, it does not matter. We're all going through the same problem, and that's because of our color. So we go through that organization, there's strength in numbers. Let's do that. It involves complete ownership of our political landscape, our economic landscape, and our social culture without any outside influence. And it involves commitment. That's what a black agenda looks like. I'm willing to die for every single one of you guys right here. Because every time I look in the mirror, every time I look at you guys, I see myself. I want to see a better future, not just for my kids, but for your kids, for your kids, for your little brothers, for your little sisters, for our families. Let's rebuild our power and our empire. We don't want any war with anybody else. We just want to be able to have what was ours again. We just want to be able to control our own communities again. That is all. That's all I'm going to say for you guys. My name is Lance Jackson. Power to the people.
Give it up for Lance! Lance was talking about the importance of organizing. It is so important that we get organizing. That's why this Sunday, Socialist Alternative is having a meeting at 6 p.m. on Zoom. There's some tables. You can get a flyer. Make sure you get that before you leave. Next, our next speaker is Awa, and she's with Solidarity North Shore. Give it up for Awa!
How are we feeling tonight? What will America look like tomorrow? What will it bring to black and brown bodies thrown into despair of poverty and injustice? This is my question for tonight. This time is undeniably unstable. Black and brown Americans across the nation are watching two leaders uninterested in pursuing their liberation battle over electoral systems built unjustly from white supremacy, maintaining the conditions that keep us poor, hungry, exhausted, and exploited. This is the democracy they offer us. This democracy they ask us to believe in after they couldn't indict thousands of officers responsible for the death of thousands of black people. This democracy they promise will function in our interests that incarcerates us at massive numbers, leaving us houseless, making us unemployed, which makes us uninsured, which makes us disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. This democracy that has only ever killed us, they feed us, is our only hope. This democracy they use to manipulate black America into retreating in the violent fight that is fighting for black lives. This is the democracy that has loomed over this country for thousands of years, that has formed colonies on lands that weren't theirs for the taking, and stolen bodies that weren't birthed for enslavement. What will America look like tomorrow? The answer is likely the same. Denial of opportunity, denial of security, denial of protection, denial of safety, and ultimately, denial of life. For Black and brown Americans, electoral politics, which we are told to invest all our labor into pursuing, will remain our downfall. Tomorrow, Black and brown bodies will continue to perish under poverty, exploited by capitalism, and persecuted by the state to be kept in line, facing massive unemployment rates in comparison to their white counterparts, inequitable access to education, healthcare, and housing, conditions that drive Black and brown America to live uninsured, unprotected, and unstable lives. Tomorrow, Black and brown bodies will remain targeted by the carceral and police state, thrown in prisons, jails, and detention centers, forced to endure the harsh conditions of being locked up by the state, reprimanded of all the civil liberties this country has promised us. Tomorrow and the day after that, Black and brown bodies will fall. They will be denied the right to life, dying at the hands of police officers, of COVID-19, and of any system that upholds white supremacy. Tomorrow, Black and brown America will be forced to continue the fight, initiated by their ancestors whose bodies forged this nation, building white empires with thrones white America reigns on. It's material made out of oppression because white America runs on the exploitation of Black and brown America. Tomorrow, those of you that are a part of white America who will have the privilege to slip back into the rhythm of silent white supremacy, benefiting from the thrones and empires our ancestors built you tomorrow will have to make the pledge to fight. You will have to betray the ideals of whiteness, the supremacy and power that keeps you comfortable. You will have to abandon security, stability, protection, and safety for the sake that one day we will all be given what you have. You have to make this pledge because without it, our oppression is in your hands. You may not have created the system, but your existence and advantages come from the historical line of the oppression of my people. And I will never forgive or forget if tomorrow, when Black America continues to die, you stay complicit and silent. Because I will never have the security, safety, protection, and stability to forget my oppression. If you leave the streets, if you walk out and celebrate the win of Biden, you have put Black and brown body lives on death row. You have left us to die, and regardless of whether you voted or not, that will never be forgiven because you will have chosen white supremacy over liberation regardless. Tomorrow, you must promise Black and brown America that you will help us secure the safety, protection, stability, and security you have for our own communities so that our liberation will call for yours. Because a strong Black and brown America will liberate every disenfranchised worker exploited by their system. Our struggle united, bound by the ropes of capitalism that keep us routinely forced to produce and produce, leaving us too tired to revolt and fight back. Tomorrow lies on our willingness to fight. It demands for us not to push Biden to the left or waver Trump from fascism. It is to mobilize bodies, to unite on goals and visions, and to remind America and its white empire that whoever lies in position of power tomorrow should either give us our radical change or by default fear us. Because we do not exist to compromise, we do not exist to tolerate, and we sure as hell do not exist to be oppressed. Tomorrow is war, not violent, bomb-dropping, gun-slinging war. This war will be resistance. Resistance against poverty, against white supremacy, and against the cis-het patriarchy. But do not be mistaken. They will paint this fight as violent, looting and rioting violent, without ever taking notice of the violence we are forced to endure. America will do everything to make the oppressed look like the oppressors, all because we reject the concept of whiteness. Not people who are white, but the concept of whiteness itself, built on the division of those oppressed and divided, those dispersed across lands as the result of colonialism and imperialism. We will bring in peace. Peace that will be fought for violently, but peace nonetheless. So when they call us violent, we remind them that they're the ones wearing riot gear. Governor Baker sent in the National Guard. They possess tear gas and pepper spray, and they're the ones with qualified immunity, giving them the right to beat and kill us. We remind them that denial of opportunity, denial of security, denial of protection, and denial of safety is violence. That all violence we ever face is the result of us resisting our oppression. Any violence that will likely happen will not be incited by us. It will be brought by the state's unwillingness to give us the rights we deserve. History tells us it is often in the blurring lines of peace, resistance, and violence that we achieve freedom. It is ironic that the descendants of those they forced to build this country and all countries founded in white supremacy will be those that destroy it. But we know in this fight, in order to do any of that, community must protect community. The only way for us to be ready to revolt is to be secure in our fight, secure that we will protect each other, white bodies in front of black and brown bodies when the time comes. Because it is community protecting community that gives us strength. And our strength will be this unjust system's downfall. For we are not our ancestors' dreams because we are better able to survive under the repressive conditions of capitalism. We are not our ancestors' dreams because some of us had access to vote this election cycle. We are not even our ancestors' dream because very few of us have managed to accumulate enough wealth to move of socioeconomic class. White America has fed us this lie that our ancestors' dreams were invested in the chains of capitalism, vested in the chains of whiteness, that they would marvel at the conditions of this world today. And they are wrong. We are our ancestors' dream because we are capitalism's worst nightmare. Because we will tear it to shreds in the names of our ancestors whose lands and bodies they ravaged to build thrones that we will in turn destroy. We are our ancestors' dreams because we hold the power to reimagine and re-envision a revolutionary world not bound by white supremacy. To challenge the ideals of what safety is and isn't because we know safety cannot be protected by violence. It cannot come from punishment and carceral and policing systems that deny us the right to restorative justice and the right to life. We are our ancestors' dream because we will not reform these chains. We will seek the liberty and justice for all they deny us and unlock these damn chains ourselves.
We can't rely on the two-party system. We can't rely on these establishment politicians. We need to organize ourselves within our communities, within our workplaces, and within our schools. So before we head out, we have a quick note from Dorchester Art Project that's helped put on this event today. Give it up.
What's going on, everybody? It's good to be here. Actually, I gotta be real with you. It's been really hard for me to be on some. It's good to be here shit lately. I gotta say, guys, when I come out here in my city and I see each and every one of you, it really makes me so happy, especially when I be feeling down. Oh man, you guys really reassure me that my city has my back. You got my back! Dude, you got my back! Thank you, because I need it. And I know we all need each other's back right now, especially during this pandemic. You know, this shit came out of, it came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Wiped out careers, people's homes. So much homelessness. It's just, it really upsets me. I get so upset. Who else here is upset? Anybody else here upset? Are y'all really upset? I can tell. And it's good that when we're upset, instead of being stuck in the emotion of being upset, we get out here and we take action. You heard Lance Jackson just say, it takes the power of the people to change something. And here we are, looking for that same change that we was promised long ago. So many times have we been promised change, and nothing come from it. Nothing came out of their mouth. So why are we here today? Because it doesn't matter if Trump wins, well actually that fucking matters, but it definitely doesn't matter if Biden wins, because if we don't keep him accountable for all the promises that he's making, then this fight does not stop. Because we are going to continue to keep any politician that we elect to represent us accountable for what you said you will go. So that's why it doesn't really matter to me sometimes that, you know, Democrat or Republican's going to win, because I have a very big bias against politicians. I really do. Who hears me on that? Who has a bias against politicians who are silver-tongued? Right on, right on, right on. So it really takes my community for me to step outside and really want to trust again. You know what's funny is that, growing up here in Boston, when I used to walk by a black man, it was very much an intimidating situation. I was emitting some type of hyper-masculine energy, and so was my fellow brother. But lately, I've been walking by black men and I'm saying this line, and it gets me in trouble sometimes, but it goes, "It's good to see you, brother." So I want to say, "It's good to see you, brother."
Good to see you, brother.
Say it after me. It's good to see you, brother. It so is. It's good to see each and one of you. Community centers is actually what changed my life. I got to give a special shout out to my man Hector Galarza over there at Tobin Community Center where I was coming up. That man changed the whole trajectory of my life. Dorchester Art Project. Now, Dorchester Art Project, you guys know Dab. Who don't know Dab? You see I'm Dapper Dan today. You see it? They were started by Brain Arts Organization. That nonprofit is all about a conscious movement. Your intention, setting it, and then applying that action throughout community organizing. Art changed my life. I feel that God, art saved me, matter of fact. At Boston Day and Evening, without my arts teachers, I don't know where I'd be. Thank you for art. Art, you see what everybody puts on their sign, that way to be fully expressed? That's your art. You need somewhere where you can hold that. You need somewhere where you can create that. This is our city. We can take chalk and just put our whole culture right here on the ground and leave it all around for generations to see what we stood here for, to fight. Use your brain. Join the movement. That's why we out here right now. Continue to fight. I don't gotta keep saying cliche things like that, but in your heart, you know exactly why you're standing here with all of us tonight. You're looking at the left, you see a couple people, some strangers. What's going on, y'all? You look here to the right. I don't even know my directions right now. What's going on? You're strangers, but it's nice to see you out here